Hi guys, welcome to my channel Boomsy Beauty. My name is Juliana. Today's video is about the new Viseart Bijouxette palette. This is one of the new palettes they've just come out with, and this is the inside of the palette. So we're going to be doing this eye look here, and after the eye look I'm going to do the swatches of this palette. So if you like to see the swatches and how I created this look, then please keep on watching. Okay, my eyes are primed, and this is again what the palette looks like. I have no plan today on what choice of colors to use, but I know that there is 4 mattes, and the 4 mattes are really neutral. So that is a matte, that is a matte, that is a matte, and then that. All the others are shimmers, and I'm a put on your matte first kind of girl, so I'm stuck with 4 colors as my matte shades. Alright, because I don't know what the intensity of this palette is like, I'm going to start from the neutral browns and then kind of build it up from there. So starting with this one, I'm going to put that just in my crease. Alright, this is not so much showing up on my skin tone. It's kind of like blended in. I'm going to follow through anyway and put that all over my crease. Okay, I have that shade all over my crease, and by the way, I'm testing out this poolside BH Cosmetic brush set today. I got it last year, Black Friday, and I've not used it since then, so kind of pulled it out today. I used the face one for my skin application, and now I'm using the eye brushes for my eyeshadow application. Okay, I'm going to start building up the shade now. I'm going into the next brown. Again, I don't know what the intensity of this is, but I just want to use the browns before I go into any other colorful mattes, which is most likely that one I'm going to end up with eventually. So putting that in my lower outer lid. So it looks like the first brown I use is quite cool tone. This one is, I want to say warm, but not entirely warm. In between, that's what I would like to say. A mixture of cool tone and warm tone. I'm just going to bring you a little bit closer so that you can see the eye look better. Alright, so what I'm talking about. So it's quite warm, but not entirely warm tone brown. So it's, I would definitely say it's a mixture of cool tone and warm tone. And I'm just laying that down just underneath the first shade I applied. Now I'm going into the darkest brown. This is probably too big of a brush, but I'm literally going to put that right on my outer edge here. So not going any higher, literally just right here towards my lash line. I'm just going to do a little bit of a zigzag movement because I don't want the shadow to go too far. So it's just literally stayed towards my lash line. Alright, I think for my final matte, now I'm going to go into this red shade because I just want that bit of red to be on my face rather than just all brown. For that, I'm going to start from my lower lash line. Now taking that red on my upper lid as well, laying it down all over the previous shades I applied, which are the browns. Just putting this all over that darkest brown. I'm also taking the red eye up into my crease because of my hooded eye. I want to be able to see when my eyes are opened, so I'm taking it higher up. And now I'm going to blend the edges of the shadow with a mixture of this one and the red. And there's no in-between shade to kind of blend it out, and I don't want to go for the brown, so that's why I'm mixing it, and this seems to have worked. I'm going to do the same for the lower part of my eyes. I'm going to actually pinch the brush because it's quite big, so I'm going to pinch it without having to change my brush. Just going to pinch it to make it work. I could have used a smaller brush. I'm just going to stick with this one. And because I always like all my eyelid to be covered with matte, I'm going to go for this matte shade for the inner part of my lid, because I don't have any color there at the moment, so I'm just going to lay this in the inner part. when you put shimmers directly on your skin without a base, it's more likely to crease. So that's why I always like my entire lids to be covered with a shadow. Alright, and that's as far as I'm going with the matte. Now it's time for the shimmers. Okay, for my inner corner, I'm going to go with that shade. I'm going to apply this to both my lower inner corner and my upper inner corner. And by the way, I used my BH Booster glitter primer before applying all the shimmers. I'm trying to use as many shimmer shades on my eyes, but I want to try and possibly concentrate the colors on my lower lash before I try on my upper lid. My upper lid, I'm kind of tempted to just keep it one color, at most two, but on my lower lid I want those jewel tones to kind of like be reflected on my lower lid. So for my next shade, I'm going to go with this green. I'm putting that right next to the yellow. And by the way, I didn't spray these shimmers. Well, so far so good, I've not sprayed any of the shimmer. I mean, I will do the blending later, but yeah, that's the green next to the yellow. I want to say yellow or golden. Oh, that's the green. And then next on my lower lid, I'm going with this blue. So I'm kind of slightly blending it into the green as well. Stopping right there. And then I'm finally going into that purple. I'm going to carry on from the blue right to my outer corner, because that kind of matches the mattes the most. So that's going to be my final shimmer on my lower lid. Okay. All that is left is now to blend all the shimmers together. So blending the yellow into the green, the blue into the purple. Just tap it in, make sure they're well blended into each other. I think I'm satisfied with the lower lid, so it's now time for the upper lid, which I still haven't made up my mind which color I want. I mean, for the outer corner, because I've got more like a purple kind of a matte, I am gonna go with the shimmer I put on the last part of my lower lid, so this one. So putting that on the outer part of my upper lid, just merging it into the matte. I'm very tempted to have all of my lid have this color because it's quite beautiful. Because I'm thinking that all over the lid and maybe bring the gold just slightly on top. I don't know. At the same time, I want to use more colors. Alright, in the end, I choose to have a mixture of that as well in between the two shades. So this is what I'm going to do on the side now. So going with this bronzy shade, I'm placing that right next to the gold. Just kind of extending it into my crease, I want to say. Just like as a blending shade, and I'm just going to use my finger. I'm going back to the gold I first put on my inner corner. I'm just going to lay that over that bronzy shade and pull that right down on my crease, like in the form of cut crease. So I'm putting that, I'm taking that right up into my crease. Now I'm going back into that purple. I'm going to lay that right all over my outer corner. So covering that bronze shade a little, because I want the purple to be the prominent color on my lid. So far so good. I've not had to wet any of the shimmers, which is absolutely amazing. Even though I did use a glitter primer, but I mean I always use glitter primer for any shimmer shades. And now going back into that matte red shade, and I'm just going to blend that with the shimmer. And then mixing it with a little bit of dark brown, which is kind of what gave me the purple shade. So mixing the red and the brown shade gave me the purple shade. So putting that right on my outer edge to proper darken it. Alright, I think I am satisfied with that. And I'm going to apply my liner in my waterline and my lashes, and I'll be right back to show you what the finished look looks like. Alright guys, this is the completed look. So my lower lid with the 3 to 4 shades, and then my upper lid. Alright, for my waterline I went with this green neon shock liner from, is it LA Girl? It's from LA Girl. It was quite tough to decide which color to put in my waterline. I was tempted to put blue, but because the blue really stands out on my lower lid, I thought it would be too much of a blue, which was why I went for this. I don't know what I think yet, but I kind of like it. I think it gives it like a break, not too concentrated on the blue. So this is what I put in my waterline, and every other thing I used on my eyes, it will be in the description box. Okay, now let's get into the swatches. So this is the first 4 shades, so that's what's in the top row. So that was the first color I used on my crease, and this is what I had all over all of the other shades I used. I didn't use that orange, and then that's a green shimmer. I didn't use this green either at all. So that's the first row of the Bijou palette. Okay, next is the middle row. So this brown was what I used to darken the whole look before I applied the red, and this is the shade I had in between that gold shade and the purple shade on my upper lid. Another brown matte, and this is the one I have in my inner tear duct. So that's the second row of the palette. Now let's go on to the final row. Alright, on to the last row, the third and last row. So all of these shades are shimmers, even though some of them are kind of like shinier than others, but all the 4 are shimmers. That's the first shimmer, and that's what I have on majority of my upper lid. And that blue really is the reason why I bought this palette. That is absolutely beautiful and buttery. And as you saw in the demo, I didn't wet any of the shades when I applied them. None of them did I wet, and that purple is beautiful as well. But that blue, that blue really is the deciding factor of purchasing this palette. It's absolutely beautiful. In fact, they all are. I mean, to use them without wetting them, nothing, they were beautiful. This is the kind of shades, the kind of shimmers I like to use during the week, you know, when I won't have to fuss about, you know, think of glitter primer or wetting it. Oh, honestly, I can't wait to put that all over my lid. That is beautiful. So these are all the swatches of the Bijou palette, whichever way you want to call it, but these are all the swatches, all the shades. It is a beautiful palette, especially this last row is really the row that pulls you in. Those colors, especially that blue, oh my, it's really what pulls you in into this palette. I mean, to be honest, I've not been really impressed with what Viseart has been bringing out for a while now. I did get the first Etendu palette, the neutral one, when they brought out, I think they brought out the neutral one and the purple one. I never got the purple one, I just got the neutral one, which was absolutely beautiful. I love that palette, and this is the second Etendu palette I'm getting. If I'm honest, all the other ones have come between the first neutral one they brought out and this one. I've not really been impressed. It's been like a pop of color here, a pop of color there, and it's not been totally different to what they brought out. But this one kind of stood out to me. Obviously, there's some shades that are in my other Viseart palette, but I think it's unique enough, especially because of this row, for me to have purchased it. So I like this. And in terms of performance, you did see how it performed. It was beautiful. The mattes, I'm not surprised, they blend like a dream. Viseart mattes are just beautiful. Viseart mattes are really beautiful. They are shimmers. If you are not looking for bright, shiny, in your face, smack you in the face kind of shimmers, their shimmers are beautiful. This for me, it's absolutely beautiful. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me and you've enjoyed creating this look with me. If you have, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.